I'm about to play a clip from a song. Americans, you will not know this song, but every Canadian of a certain age will. Ready?
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road, that's where I'll always be.
Growing up in Canada, at some point you were left alone with a bowl of Kraft dinner and a rotary phone and a television that only got 3 channels. And on one of those channels, just after school on a Tuesday, you met the Littlest Hobo. Littlest Hobo was about a super smart, very friendly German Shepherd who didn't have an owner and just kind of like wandered from place to place. Everywhere he went, he found people who needed help. A lost child, a broken family, a trapped animal, a small injustice. And every time, he stepped in, fixed what he could, and then disappeared before anyone could thank him. That was it. That was the whole show. What a lot of people don't realize is that show actually started as an American film in the late 50s. Same basic story beats. In the film, he rescues a lamb from a slaughterhouse. And then somehow gets a paralyzed girl to stand up and walk. But for Canadians, The Littlest Hobo wasn't just a TV show. It was a feeling. A small moment of safety in a world that did not always feel safe back then. It was the idea that even if things got bad, if your bike got stolen or your friend got lost or your family was fighting, that somehow a silent, steady presence would show up and fix what was broken and then leave before anyone could ask too many questions. That dog was part of our national DNA. And The Littlest Hobo is deeply embedded in Canadian culture. Mike Myers was in it when he was 16. It showed up on the Trailer Park Boys.
Every stop I make a new friend.
Hi, Daddy.
It was in Corner Gas.
I think I just met the Littlest Hobo.
How tall was he? Did he ask you for money?
No, from the TV show. You know, Canada's Lassie? There's a voice keeps on calling me.
A hobo is calling you?
No, the hobo's a dog.
A dog is calling you.
No, voice is calling the dog.
The dog hears voices?
The Littlest Hobo also broke every TV rule there was. For one, there was no recurring human cast. No dad in every show, no hobo owner, no precocious kid. The hobo was the only recurring star, although there were actually 5 different hobos on set. One was really good at jumping, one was good at carrying things, one was good at standing still and looking noble, so they just sort of swapped the right one in as needed. And he never got a backstory, other than he was on a train at some point, and then he wasn't. That was it. That's all we ever learned about his history. But every episode, he'd show up in a town, figure out how to help, and then leave. And maybe that's why we loved it. Maybe that's why we needed it. Sometimes the world feels like it's spinning, like loudly, chaotically. And we don't need more spectacle or more noise. We just need a story where someone, anyone, is good just for the sake of being good. Where help shows up not because it's paid or praised, but because it can. The Littlest Hobo reminded us that you do not need a big plan to make a big difference. You don't need permission to be kind. You just need to notice the need and show up. And then go. There's a line in that famous theme song that always chokes me up. It goes, "Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down." I've been thinking a lot about that show lately and why it cuts deep for so many Canadians. Because on the surface, it's just a dog. It's just a show about a dog. But beneath that, I think it's about us. It's about how we are seen in the world and how we want to be seen in the world. Like Donald Trump, right, keeps yabbering about how we don't have a military and about how they do everything for us.
Free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada.
And honestly, whatever. No one takes anything he says seriously. We know that Canada doesn't always get remembered in history. We're not always at the center of the global story. But that's okay. Being Canadian has never been about taking credit. It's about stepping in where we're needed, helping when we can, and then just quietly moving on to the next people that need our help. Compassion without performance. That's what The Littlest Hobo was about. Relentless decency. And a belief, however fragile, that the world can still be made better, one town, one small gesture at a time. Maybe the world doesn't see us coming. Maybe it forgets we were ever there. But we were. And sometimes that's enough.
And aren't you coming today? Oh. Guess you're anxious to move on. Well, thanks for everything, dear. Come and see me if you pass this way again.
Until tomorrow, our whole world is mine.